the recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about Sunway and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl Biyi Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur, and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you...
Welcome back to the program. It's Starr Radio UK. It's your Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now exactly to 5 minutes past the top of the hour. And of course, okay, you don't see me, you see me. Yes, you can see me now. Yes. We have the one and only Mr. Olayomi Koiki, who has joined us this morning. We're going to be looking at what has happened across where you've been, and especially now from Nigeria. Yomi, let me say good morning to you.
Well, a very good morning. I'm going to get the background out and change it back. A very good morning to all our listeners and viewers from around the globe, and we welcome you to Starr Radio UK. It is your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, and as we say all the time, this is where you can get all the latest update coming out of Nigeria, and most importantly, all the latest news as the self-determination are also now campaigning for their disintegration peacefully out of Nigeria. But you can also get all the other news, the politics, and everything you need to know. The Commonwealth have just finished. A lot of the self-determination, the indigenous people are now saying that the Yorubas competed and not Nigeria. But Frank will always say, until the final lap, no one should give up, because that is the only way. But you get all that here on Starr Radio UK Monday to Friday with myself, Archie, and Frank, and the rest of the team. And I'll slightly come back again. We do apologize. We couldn't join Archie yesterday, but be rest assured, we're back again this morning, the 9th of August 2022, where we roll the program out again this morning.
Yes, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki are ready to bring you all that you need to know when it comes to Nigeria. Now, so how was the weekend? What were some of the activities that took place over the weekend, sir?
Well, the weekend runs very fast, especially, like you can remember, we have the family, the children are all on holiday, and that takes, a lot of our time as parents. And that means that, we take every opportunity, to spend time with them. So my weekend was as beautiful. My weekend was as important as we take advantage of, the weather, and also we take advantage of, the opportunity that we have. There was also quite a lot that happened over the weekend. I'll be discussing some of that as well, especially, with the same thing that we discuss all the time, the killings and the atrocity that is taking place in Nigeria. We're going to be talking a bit more about, the diaspora, a Yoruba man that was killed in Ogbomoso, and how the story is now being, disputed in a way that it shouldn't be. He was killed by the terrorists, but that we're going to be discussing as well, today. But I'm back again, and I'll be firing on all cylinders, like you always say, on the latest news coming out of Nigeria this morning.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Now, let's go to the story about, let's talk about the Commonwealth Games that ended last night in Birmingham. Now, the question is, as you've been saying, most of the athletes are Yorubas, okay? So those who went to perform are thinking that, well, you know what? This is an example of what can happen, because we are forming the majority of those who are doing the work. So, what was the performance? Looking at the what do you call it, the tables, the medal tables, what position was Nigeria and how did they do all in all?
Well, when it comes to the, what are the, what has been said, regarding the Commonwealth, depending on which side of the coin, you're listening to. If you're listening from the side of the, the Nigerian government, There's a response from the federal government also taking advantage as they would do all the time. I'll be telling you what Atiku is saying. I'll be telling you what Buhari is saying. I'll be also telling you what those from the Yorubas are saying regarding the just concluded Commonwealth. The first question that people say is during the Commonwealth we have England, we have Scotland, we have Wales, and we have all these different regions that was there representing. So what has it been so difficult that we should have the same system representing as well? So let me take you to what Ilana UK said some about 20 hours ago. Lesson from the 2020 Commonwealth Games and the medal table. The hashtag Yoruba on their own have the ability to top Northern Ireland, Wales, India, and Pakistan. Hashtag Nigeria has held us back for more than a century. Time to exit hashtag Nigeria and take our rightful place in the world order. Hashtag Yoruba Nation now. And according to what we have, even though it is not yet a Yoruba nation that is representing the Commonwealth, but what we can say is Australia went with the highest gold medal with 66, and then that goes to England with 55. But if you go further down, Nigeria got the gold medal, but those that represent is why those that are saying that they are from the Yoruba. But Buhari disagree with you. This is what the president had to say. I join millions of Nigerians in celebrating, the just concluded Commonwealth Games that have just, come together. Even some Nigerians are still also saying that those that represent Nigeria are the good ones, as against those that use the NSAS, with the blood stain on the Nigeria flag as well. This is what Atiku literally had to say. A grateful nation thanks the entire historical team Nigeria at the Commonwealth Games 2022 in Birmingham. You can definitely see that so many different coins from different angles, depending on which side you have, will determine what you're going to say at the just concluded Commonwealth Games in Birmingham in London.
Well, at the moment, as Frank will also say that, well, it's a geographical location now, so let's just accept that, well, it's Nigeria that performed, whether they are from the southeast or the southwest, or maybe from the north or from the middle belt, whatever we did as Nigerians. But maybe if we have our individual states, like we have Scotland, we have Wales, we have everybody performing, and at that plan, maybe we would have done better. We would have seen who is actually doing good and who is not putting up their weight. But whatever it is, with congratulations to them, they made us proud. Let me say good morning to Oluremi Akilanko. He said, good morning, Starr Radio UK, RT, Frank, Olayomi, and the fans. And good morning to you. Thank you very much for joining us once again. Now, let's go to some of the stories. Well, we know that Nigeria is one of the countries that when it comes to natural resources, we talk about crude oil, has got it. I mean, if you look at the rankings, I think what number are they when it comes to crude oil?
I think number 6.
Number six. And I've been talking about this all the time, that can't Nigeria pump up more crude oil during this time that we're talking about Russia, because of Russia and Ukraine war, and therefore there's all this economic whatever is going on, and energy prices seem to be hiking. And I ask myself, what number of percentage are we? So we're looking at all these resources that Nigeria has. We're looking at farm produce that we know that now, because of all this nonsense, my apologies, that seems to be going on pertaining to what do you call it? The Fulani headsmen going to people's farms, destroying them, people being abducted in their farm, being killed. Therefore, that has brought down farming in that part of the world. I think that Nigeria has got the resources to be able to say that, look, when it comes to Africa, with our number and with our natural resources, we've got a strength. I think that we are doing well. But when it comes to the world, they are saying that the top 10 indebted countries in the World Bank, Nigeria is in one of the top 10. Well, worst or the most indebted countries in the world. So what has caused that?
Well, so many things have actually caused that, and I'm going to be giving us, some of those background, especially, what people are saying when it comes to, the debt that we have currently, and why do we have, this staggering amount of debt? The reason for that is, we've got to remember, like you said, there is quite a lot, when it comes to, a country like Nigeria, but the problem is, it has not actually, been designed to work, since the inclusion of Nigeria in 1914 that led to the election in 1959 that gave us the independence, and that independence was also, trampled on because we had a regional government, a government that was operating in the southeast, a government that was operating in the southwest and also in the northern part of the country, and that gives a bit of less pressure because everybody was allowed to develop on their own pace. Like you said, the headline this morning: Nigeria, 3 others top World Bank debtor list. Rising debt has pushed Nigeria up the World Bank's top 10 International Development Association borrower list. So these are now countries that have become more borrowing. And for that is, if you are not producing enough, you would definitely rely on export coming into the country, even though we have the crude oil, we have the human capacity, we have so many other natural resources, but for 62 years, these resources have not been used on average Nigerians. Let me give you an example. During my show this morning, we had a caller that called in, and she was actually saying that even though she lived there, she's a retired with her husband, they've worked there all their life, but they couldn't get a visa for their son that was not feeling very well to come here for a medical treatment. But the question is, if Nigeria was working, they would not need to come down to UK. They eventually go for the option, which was the option of a private hospital in Nigeria, and you could tell that is quite expensive. And that takes me back to the World Bank. The World Bank fiscal year 2021 audited financial statement, known as the ID financial statement, show that Nigeria was rated 5th on the list with $11.7 billion on the IDA debt stock as of June 30th, 2021. However, in the newly released World Bank fiscal year 2022 that has been audited financial statement for the IDA, which stands for International Development Association, show that Nigeria has moved to the 4th position on the list with about 13 billion debt stock as of June 30th, 2022.
Well, for them to be number 3, the top 3, then there is something that's going on. I can see that you are talking about 400,000 barrels of crude oil that goes, missing a day, 400,000. Now, what do you think precipitates this action or these losses that the country is suffering or hemorrhaging? What do you think is causing that?
Well, again, it's poverty, and again, it seems that those that believe that the natural resources found underneath their land, is not being used properly and channeled, to give, leverage, to give opportunity to some of these individuals across, some of this region. You are quite right. The headline here says Nigeria loses 400,000 barrels of crude oil per day to theft, according to the federal government. Before we come back to that, this is what, the former emir, a central bank as well, governor at the time, I'm talking about Sanusi. I warned Buhari's government that its policy would destroy Nigeria economy. Not a very good one as well. Former Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi too, has disclosed he warned the President Muhammadu Buhari administration that his economic policies would destroy Nigeria's economy. Sanusi also lamented the current state of the nation, saying Nigeria will not be where it is if public office holders take their jobs seriously. The former emir that spoke in Lagos on Sunday at the state play titled Emir Sanusi, Truth in Time, Every Inherent Dangers in the Economy Policy, he communicated to the administration when he newly came on board in 2015-2016, is what the country is facing today. The former Kano emir recalled how he wrote a confidential letter to the ex-president Goodluck Jonathan as the Central Bank of the Nigerian governor, voicing his strong concerns about the economy. So does this really have that effect to where 400,000 barrels is now being stolen, according to the federal government? So what do we know? The federal government has decried huge crude oil theft resulting in substantial loss in production. Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Sylvia, who disclosed this yesterday when he visited the Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma at the Government House Owerri, lamented that hoodlums who perpetrated the act has caused production level to reduce. The question a lot of Nigerians will ask is, what have you done with the ones that you've produced in the first place? Because those communities have never enjoyed those resources. For the last time that, from the last 60 years of independence and when the crude oil has been found, those in that region was more reason why somebody like Ken Saro-Wiwa was killed as an environmental activist. And as of today, the government is saying that 400,000 barrels per day, translating to a drop from 1.8 million to about 1.4 million barrels per day that the government is producing. Sylvia, who was accompanied by the high power team made up of the Minister of State for Education, which again, education has been zero since February, the students have been at home. He was also there with the Chief of Defense Staff. Again, a failure of a government that could not protect Nigerians, talk less of protecting, the oil rig, environment. I've watched a video from Saudi Arabia, and they could be able to monitor every part of where the crude oil is up in operation, from a control center. This could have been done in Nigeria, but rather we still have to go back to, somebody like the late Abacha to give us the PIN code to where some of the money that was stolen. Just as Babangida and the rest of them that have used Nigeria as a cash cow. And that is why a lot of Nigerians are now reviewing to say, are we truly Nigerians? And who is in Nigeria? Because 10% control the resources. Even remember that, at some point during, the beginning of this year, Pastor Enoch Adeboye made that statement. I'll come back to you in the studio so that I can get exactly what he said during that, broadcast from their church, at the beginning of this year, in terms of where actually, is the crude oil or the money coming and going as well. So Star Radio UK, I'll come back again to you in the studio.
Interesting. Listen, let's be so for you. If you have any comments, feel free to post it on our YouTube channel or our Facebook page. And the Facebook page that we are using at the moment, as I said, the secretary team are working, the legal team working on the Starr Radio.
And yes, I got it there. And this is exactly what Pastor Enoch Adeboye of the Redeemed Christian Church of God had to say, at the beginning of this year. 80% of income of a nation is going to some people. Remember, 80%. So not literally the 400,000 barrel that is missing. Even the ones that have been pumped out is going to just the 80% as against, the whole country. What are they going to do? What are they going to do with the money? Who is buying the crude oil that the money is not returning back to Nigeria economy? How many of the nations are also your friend? I'm not thinking of 2023. 90% of our income left from the oil used to pay money we borrowed. So you can tell that Nigeria is really under a strain as we speak right now.
It is very, very sad because if, as the pastor is saying, the bishop is saying, 80% of whatever Nigeria makes, goes to some individuals, not going to the state. So that 20% that is left, that is where, and that one to 90% goes into servicing the debt. So all that is left is 10%. So you ask yourself the question, is a country, how many people are actually enjoying Nigeria? How many people? And when the indigenous people try to say that, no, we don't want to take that, and we want, because we think that we are being marginalized, the people go cuckoos and say that, no, they should be made to stay wherever they are. Well, left to me alone. But when you are, Osinoga says, good morning, everyone. May Nigeria not happen to you. May it not happen to us. Well, that is our prayer. But we need to find a way, where we can work this out. I don't get it. Well, it is Starr Radio UK. I have this online working in North London studios, and I'm Archie in the South Studios here, and we are bringing you updates from Nigeria. Now, Black Sisters Director Biyi Bandele is dead. Who is Biyi Bandele, and what caused his life?
Well, let's come, to that story in just about a few minutes. Once again, you're listening to Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. I'm just trying to bring that story back up on the screen here. Yes, he's a prolific filmmaker. He died, at the age of 54. Biyi Bandele, as is known, the creative industry was rocked by the demise of one of Nigeria's prolific filmmaker yesterday night. His death was actually announced by his daughter, Temi, by Facebook post. I am heartbroken to share the sudden and unexpected death on Sunday, the 7th of August in Lagos of my father, Biyi Bandele, the statement read. Temi described her father as a prodigiously talented writer, a filmmaker, as well a loyal friend and a beloved father. He was a storyteller to his bones with an unblinking perspective, singular voice, and wisdom, which spoke boldly through all of his art in poetry, novels, plays, and on screen. He told stories that made a profound impact and inspired many all over the world. His legacy will live on throughout his work. He was born in Kaduna State on the 13th of October 1967. Bandele studied dramatic art here at the beginning of his life at University of Ife, southwest of Nigeria, and during his study won the BBC playwright competition. He moved on to London, worked here as well at Sunway, we know very well, the Royal Court Theatre, where the likes of Professor Wole Soyinka, the Nobel laureate, built his career. There he met with his famous director, Danny Boyle, who was back then just a stage hand. He started writing before the age of 12. May his soul rest in perfect peace.
Oh, may his soul rest in perfect peace. That's what we'll also add our voice to on that as well. But it is Starr Radio UK. We had some other celebrities or also passing yesterday, but to the uncelebrated ones, the ones that nobody knows, who have lost their life because government cannot provide hospitals, the healthcare system is all collapsing and everything. To them, we want to say may their souls rest in perfect peace as well. Although Remy Kilanko Ogabi says a powerful amen to Moyiwa's prayer that may Nigeria not happen to us. All right then. Now let's move on to some of the other stories making the rounds. Now 6 Shiite members reportedly killed, several others injured in Kaduna. What about that injury? Was it an attack? What happened for these people to lose their lives?
Well, I remember, El Zakizaki is one of the leader of the Shiite and a very important person in the north east of the country. And there's always an issue. The issue is, again, just as so many that happen in Nigeria on a daily basis. What we can say is, at the moment, the 6 Shiite members that we are reporting this morning killed, and so many people have been injured again in Kaduna. 6 members of the Islamic movement in Nigeria, known as IMN, also known as the Shiite, were reportedly killed yesterday in Zaria, Kaduna State, during their annual Ashura Day procession, a religious ritual. The leader of the movement in Zaria, Malam Abdul Ahmed Bello, confirmed the killings on Monday night, alleging that a combined team of security operatives attacked the members while they were observing their religious procession. It's not the first time that they have been attacked. The wife and the husband were taken away by the government for a very, very long time, especially the governor of Kaduna State, El Rufai, until they were actually released. According to him, the security personnel shot at the Shiite members indiscriminately, resulting to the death of 6 people, whilst caused sustained injury. So again, as we say, there's a lot of pressure, when it comes to Nigeria engaging, security-wise, which take me to, before coming back to you in the studio, what, the Senate are saying this morning, as Senate probes 1.7 trillion security vote to 797 agency this morning in another headline. Starr Radio UK, I'll come back again to you in the studio.
Well, listeners, a sad one from that front, because I was asking myself the question once you were bringing that up there, that, well, did they provoke the security at all?
Well, I mean, not literally. I mean, it's just that, again, from their perspective, the government have always, handled these Shiite with a very, difficult position. Remember, the reason why, their leader was arrested and detained for a very long time is because, as at that time, the chief of staff was traveling in that route as well during one of their procession. And according to what we were told, he wasn't allowed to pass through, even though, the Shia disagree. So many of them were killed. But it is just that, again, it's got to do, not because of the religious intakes, it's just that, the government disagree, with their own kind of religions, because the Shiite is completely different kind of Islamic, from the perspective of the government. It has always been a problem, when it comes to the Shiite in Nigeria, but one thing is there is always this tension, when they come out. Although the majority of Nigerian Muslim population is Sunni, there is a small Shia minority, particularly in the northern part of Nigeria, which is this particular one that we're discussing. So most Nigerians are Sunni, but this particular Shiite, they are, small in minority. But again, there is a, trouble, and this has been going on. I take you back to 2019 as an example. In July, more trouble between Nigerian Shiite minority and the police. So it's not the first time. Western and Nigerian media are reporting that the principal Shiite movement in Nigeria, and this is 2019, article that I'm reading out now. Nigeria stormed the National Assembly in Abuja on the July 7, in resulting to merely 2 people may have been killed and 8 injured. As is often the case, there are few details with claims and counterclaims, but the episode is a reminder that Shiites are a force now to be reckoned with in Nigerian street politics.
Now, is there freedom of association in Nigeria so that people, I want to belong to this church, I want to belong to this group, I want to belong, is there freedom of association in Nigeria?
Well, I mean, according to the, the fake 1999, military decree constitution, yes, there is freedom to association and there's freedom to, political parties as well. But like I said, being a very small minority, there is a pressure, especially, from the government, attacking this particular, especially this particular government, have really, dealt with them seriously. And again, this morning, 6 of their members have been killed, and so many of them have been injured. He said the total casualties, even though, these kind of stories as well, the security operatives will always say otherwise as well, different, that there's always a tension. How do you manage such a situation? I mean, we do have tensions in UK. I think it was some years back, 6th of August, when Duncan was killed in Tottenham. So, and I think that happened on the August the 4th, if I'm right, 20. I can't remember the year exactly. But what we know is it eventually led to what we can call escalation, that took place in Tottenham. We saw Prince Charles, coming back, to plead with the resident. There was a lot of discussion. So what could push the citizen, and how the anger management between the security operatives and the citizens? It's not just in Nigeria, but it seems Nigeria, as we know, Nigeria never happened to you, like we say.
Well, Nigeria never happened to you. It is Starr Radio UK. I'm just from Nigeria with Mr. KOIKIMEDIA in our North London studios. I'm actually here in the South studios, and we are bringing you all that you need to know when it comes to Nigeria and the world as a whole. So now we'll go back to Yomi for some of the other stories making the rounds. It's 11:32. Over to you, Yomi.
Thank you so much. 11:32, like you said, the 9th of August, 2022. Let's take some of this headline. Arekanowe Kakanfo says, if you pave the street of Nigeria with gold, we will still demand for sovereign Yoruba nation. Scotland is a prosperous autonomous region in the UK, yet they want to control their sovereignty. The reclamation of the Yoruba sovereignty, where our identity will be protected, is the ultimate. So that is coming from one of the headline this morning. Senate to probe 1.7 trillion security vote for 797 agency. The Senate, through its standing committee on public account, has begun a probe of over 1.7 trillion service by vote allocated to the federal agency from 2017 to 2021. The question then is, where is all this money and what have the money been used for? The chairman of the committee, Senator Matthew, who made this known during the meeting of the committee, said beneficiary government agencies needed to give explanation on how they utilize the fund. He added that the service-wide vote to SVW were disbursement for shortfall in capital and overhead. A service-wide vote, which stands for SVW, which is also known as the Consolidated Revenue Fund charge, is more or less a country contingency funding. So you hear all this staggering amount of money. We're talking about from 2017 up to 2021, 1.7 trillion is now being looked as a probe by the Senate, and we hope they will be able to give us an update. A Greek budget hit 874.83 billion naira today. Food import also got 7.8. You would have expected that should be reversed, where about our export is about giving us 7.8 trillion, but rather today, we are importing goods, food worth 7.8 trillion. So the headline says our Greek budget is 874.83 billion, while the food importation into Nigeria today is about 7.81 trillion naira. The federal government budget about 874.83 billion naira for the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development from 2016 to 2021, whereas the import of agricultural goods into Nigeria during the same period were estimated 7.81. Checks according to the update. It was gathered that the highest import of agricultural goods into the country during the period under review were recorded last year, as a product value of 2.74 trillion were imported last year alone. On the other hand, least import within the same duration was in 2016, where Nigerian agricultural goods import was about 656 billion in 2016. Why are we importing so much into the country when we have the land, we have the resources, we have the manpower? The question is, there's a lot of factor to that. The factor remains, we have a country where terrorism, is not allowing farmers to return back to the farm, and yet, like Benue State, the food basket of the country has become a big problem as well. The national president of Farmers Association of Nigeria, Kabi Ibrahim, that told the media that the drop in export and huge import were due to reduce productivity in Nigeria. As we speak today, productivity is very, very low, and that means that more Nigerians will be going into abject poverty. I'm going to come back to you now in the studio, because when we talk about food, it is one of the most important sector, one of the most important, to make human to survive. But as we say today, Nigeria still remains the capital poverty of the world, even though Nigeria is the number 6 crude oil. We are not producing, but we are told that Nigeria is the 6th crude oil producing country. We don't produce it. We actually export the crude back to the European countries and Brazil and other countries across the globe, where the finishing produce will be returned, sold back to the government.
It's not like Nigeria hasn't got refineries. It's only that they are not managing it very well. Can we say that an individual person can be that rich than Nigeria to be building its own refinery, to see to it that everything takes along nice? The nation cannot do that. Who is in the help? That is a question that seems to be asked every time. But well, Starr really UK. Now, you were talking about the agriculture, where it is quite interesting. You're looking at the importation that seems to now seem to have surpassed what we are locally producing, where we know that because of the insecurity. But we know back in, I think, a couple of years ago, the president, they shut the borders of Nigeria because they wanted to stop the importation of rice. What has become of that?
Well, it's not just that, we're talking about the importation of rice was the reason why the government shut the border. There was more to that, but that was the impression that the government gave, to, the international community, but left the border in Niger and other part of the northern part, allowing the jihadis and the militia to continue to influx into the country as well. But yes, you're quite right. The reason why, we are having this huge importation, because we do not, grow everything that we need. Everything has to be brought into the country. And if we look at, remember this couple of weeks, we talk about, the Bread Association of Nigeria, complain, especially, with the current situation of the fight between Russia and Ukraine, where wheat is not coming into the country. So only the local bread making ingredient can force down price by 50%, according to the expert. A renowned food technologist, Duro Kuteye, has called on bakers to embrace local-made bread-making ingredient as a way to force down the price of bread by 50%. He made this call against the background of the bread crisis, which is currently making bread gradually disappear from the breakfast on the table of most Nigerians this morning.
Well, listeners, those of you who are in the manufacturing industry, those who are making bread and making all the stuff. Well, this afternoon, listen to Bibi Clement's program. Bibi means business, and she'll be having as a guest Mark Dougherty of the Dougherty Tea, and he's going to tell you how to get your produce or your product on the supermarket shelves here in the UK. It's very, very important. So if you're listening to us, wherever you are, if the product is good, I bet you, and you can make competition and the price will be good, that can be done for you. But it is sad. It's sad that Nigeria is suffering this. Now, the gentleman who talked about the usage of local product, bread making product. Now, in Nigeria, do you have any other bread that is not made from the normal wheat flour that they use? What kind of bread is that?
Well, I'm trying to wonder, how, because we don't even have, most farmers have to run away, from their farms because of the terrorism that is happening, very active. More people get kidnapped on the farm as well. I mean, he was reacting to the escalating cost of the bread. The Food Technologies, who is also the managing director of Spectra Industry Limited, Mr. Duro, while addressing the media at the opening ceremony of the model factory shop at the weekend, urged bakers to be creative by embracing innovative ingredients for production of the bread. But the question is, do we even have these, local ingredients? Is the question, because you must have, the opportunity to grow, these local ingredients for you to use. He noted that, for bread, which is a necessity to continue to remain on the breakfast table of Nigeria, of average Nigerians, in the face of the skyrocketing price of imported flour, bakers must begin to look inward by embracing domestic and made in Nigeria ingredients that will not only improve their profitability, but also bring down the cost. But like I said, we don't even have those resources in place. So more reliance will still be, on people like the Dangote to bring in, this produce, as also the BUA that have monopolized this particular sector as well.
In Africa as a whole, let me say good morning to Odua Tide, Equator. Now, when it comes to Africa as a whole, we seem to love what is coming from outside. We seem to love to eat foreign products. So Dangote, his flour that he is manufacturing, is he using local produce to do it, or is he just importing it? And therefore, I'm not saying him per se, but others who have that same mindset, who import goods from outside into the country, try their best so that their prices are better off, or their produce or product that are bringing on the market is, competitive enough to beat the local ones. So what's the government policy about that?
Well, you're quite right. Dangote flour, as we know, will also have to bring in as many of his resources from outside, from wherever he can find it, because the local we don't have enough, that would have allowed him, to have this big gigantic, industry, to continue to run functioning properly if he does not have, the raw materials. Most of the raw materials are imported into the country, and that is also putting a strain, on the local as well. We're talking about, the Dangote flour mills also is now slamming the BUA over alleged sugar sales suspension. So you can see that, the two big giants, are also having issues among themselves. And the headline says, Dangote flour mill slam BUA over alleged sugar sales suspension. According to Dangote Sugar Refinery PLC and the Flour Mills of Nigerian PLC, have berated BUA Food PLC for accusing them of suspending the sale of sugar. BUA Food, in an advertising advert published on Monday, says flour mill suspended sugar sales because 2022 raw sugar allocation have been declined by the government. It also accused Dangote of halting sales of the product in the bid to create scarcity and force prices to go up as well. So, but in a press release published by the Nigerian Exchange Limited, Dangote Sugar described the claim by BUA as false. So you can see that the two, big, individuals, and they're very, very powerful, have been given a very big opportunity in Nigeria as against the smaller version, because that means everybody has to rely on whatever Dangote and that means Dangote will have more access, to the forex than the average Nigerian that is selling at the site, or somebody that wants to send their children, for holiday or for medical or whatever. So it is a very, very, tough time. And these are now some of the arguments, just like we've seen, the monopoly that have taken place in other countries. Remember, Sky was a monopoly here as well, until there was a lot of conversation to break that monopoly, to allow other smaller companies and organizations to also come up as well.
Well, listeners, interesting times. Well, 11:44 from the House of London, Starr Radio UK. So like we our North London studios and Archie. Now let's move on to one other couple of stories, and then we can bring the update to a close. Now the Senate is probing the 1.7 trillion security votes to 797 agencies. I don't seem to get a story. What is that all about, sir?
Well, between 2017, according to what we know, and 2021, the Nigerian government have spent 1.7 trillion naira on security that nobody knows, where those money have gone through. 797 agencies are involved in this money. Yes, the Senate is now probing, these amount of money, staggering figures, in dollars, but yet no result. And that is why, that headline. But one thing is, who actually takes, the big chunk of the money, from some of these 797 agencies. But the question is, are we going to get a result even after, this committee is going to review this particular probe? The end result is it becomes another dust somewhere in the cabinet.
Well, they are proving themselves. So what do you think is going to happen? Well, it is Starr Radio UK. All right, then. And now police dismisses Constable IG frowns at brutality of extortion. Why? Extorting money from people. Maybe they were beating them as well to get that money.
Sorry. Yes. Well, yes. I mean, I think what a lot of our police will now become more concerned is, if somebody is videoing them when you are stopped. I mean, this particular, police have now been, dismissed, for extorting money from the, Nigerians, and quite a lot of Nigerians are taking advantage, of the social media, and even the police force in Nigeria has no other option now, to go in line with what is happening on the social media. So quite a lot happen when it comes to the recording, but the police are also, moving swiftly, to dismiss or call attention and record those that have been, for one reason or the other, allegation against allegation. So this particular headline says there are indisciplined police have now dismissed PC Okio as the IG frowns at the brutality, extortion, and wants CP commander to supervise their men.
Interesting. Let me say good morning to Michael Okoku, and thank you very much for watching us. It is the Starr Radio Morning Show, the Tuesday edition. We'll go back to Yomi for what is happening on the social media platform, and then we can bring the updates to a close there. Over to you, Yomi.
Yes, Kiss Daniel is trending at number one. He's an artist that believes that, when he's called onto a show, he eventually doesn't turn up or 5 hours late. But the Tanzania's fans were not taking that chances. And what we do know is that Tanzania police have released Nigerian singer Kings Daniel few hours after detention over refusal to perform at a concert because he believes that his outfit was not, brought to him in time. So that is actually trending. Also, hashtag Emilokon. Emilokon is the slang from Tinubu party, the APC, when he actually said, Buhari contested 3 times. And, at the 4th time, he had no other option than for him to intervene, and he's now using the language Emilokon. So that is actually trending for so many different reasons. Even Tinubu go vote Peter Obi is what some of those obedient, according to what they are known on the social media, are saying this morning. So for me, only competent aspirant here to become the president of this country in the year 2023 is Peter Obi. What about you? And he says there, comment for Atiku, retweet for Peter Obi, and love, retweet for Tinubu and Shetima, and love for Peter Obi. So you can see that a lot of Nigerians as getting engaged with the upcoming 2023 election. I'm going to be giving all the time frame. I know we've spent a lot of time. But let us look at what more has been said. International Council for Yoruba. Yoruba great-grandfathers were born in Yoruba nation. Then was security, wealth, and harmony. Until the British Lugard came and thwarted the glorious approach into misery, insecurity by mixing us with barbaric people in the name of Nigeria. But as we are going back, they should stay clear. So you can see that more Yoruba people continue their awareness, peaceful campaign, as well. Also, according to Think Yoruba First, with a photo here that says Oba of Yoruba in Ghana and Olofa of Ofa together in Ghana, courtesy by the Oba of Yoruba in Ghana, His Royal Highness Oba Alhaji Hamzat Birima, accompanied by his Are Boba Gua. So quite a lot of engagement, using the social media as campaign continue for reason why the Yoruba should stand on their own. And I'm going to take one more as well and then come back again to you. Any Yoruba man or woman who joins non-Yoruba to separate Yoruba people based on religious beliefs is an enemy of the people. I hate one Nigerian politics with passion. I don't believe in Nigeria identity, but don't ever join me, non-Yorubas, to divide Yoruba people along. So that's also coming from Arekanwe. So they take the last one of actually what is trending when you put in Nigeria on the social media this morning. Quite a lot is trending in Nigeria as usual, but we will just take one more. Many Nigerians are scared of Tinubu becoming the president of Nigeria, but I am more scared of his wife, Remi Tinubu, a woman notorious for street fighting, bigotry, very abusive, and gross corruption, becoming the first lady of Nigeria.
Wow. Can you just imagine the first lady getting out of the car and
just like John Prescott at some point.
Yeah. Quite interesting. Well, listeners, you won't get it from anywhere apart from Starr Radio UK, where we bring you updates from Nigeria every weekday from 11 o'clock. So let me say thank you very much to Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Yomi, before you go.
Well, don't go anywhere because you got Archie, and I will take you through the rest of the program. I'll be back again same time tomorrow on Starr Radio UK. But for now, remember to subscribe on the YouTube channel, follow us on our social media handles. But the best way to listen to Starr Radio UK is to download the apps. I'll be back again same time tomorrow. Bye for now.
Bye. Well, listeners, that has been Solani Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. I'm Archie, and now.
All right, guys. I can't say anything. I gotta go now. It's been a long day already so far, and I have a lot on my table to deal with. Thank you. Sorry for those of you phone your battery to go dark, and I hope you enjoyed the broadcast from the update from Nigeria.
Good enough. I'm expecting my boss.
Okay, then. All right, fine. All right, my friend. So bye for now. I need to go and have a few brunch. It's coming up to 12 o'clock. Very, I was talking about oúnjẹ kan ní problem ta drink tí mo bù látàárọ̀ drink yẹn ló ṣì wà níbí báyìí àti apple tí mo fi ń ṣe. Imagine I've not taken anything apart from omi tí mo mu láàárọ̀ àti eléyìí. Imagine a cup of full apple juice. Ebi kan ní problem ta wà níbí báyìí. Imagine ebi tó dé. A dẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ program wa láàárọ̀ yìí ní 7 o'clock 8 9 10 11 12 5 hours. Ebi kọ́ ló ń pa wá. Ẹ ṣé jàre ìyá mi Adéníkẹ́. Ebi kọ́ ló ń pa wá. Mo kí n bàbá mi Kúnlé Ṣítà. Ebi kọ́ ló ń pa wá. Ẹ wá apple juice tí mo bù láàárọ̀ ní lórí show. Kò tí kúrò níbi tó wà. Ẹ wo ibi tó dé. Full glass. But ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ń lé nísìn. Wọ́n ti fi bí. Wọ́n ti fi da àlámọ̀rí wa rú. Because kì í má nẹ́yìn. Because àwa náà ní family níbẹ̀. And that's why we are saying, let's get the hell later to kú fún rẹ̀. Let's get the hell out of this country. Tó bá jẹ́ pé ibi ló ń pààyàn. Ẹ mọ̀ pé èèyàn máa mú wàwàwàwàwà. Tó bá jẹ́ pé Nàìjíríà nísìn, ò bá lọ kéèyàn nílé nísìn, tó bá fún ẹ lápò juice, wàá máa dààmú. Because ebi ló ń pa ẹ́. Ebi. Ọmọ òdùwà rẹ̀. Ẹyin tó bá mi dín bó ló wà. Hello. Kò gbọ́. At least ó ti bá mi dín ẹyin tó wà ní kitchen. Where is the egg?
I was in the thing, the microwave.
Okay, ṣé bread wà nílé ṣá?
Yeah, there's bread.
Bread gbọ́dọ̀ wà nílé. Bread gbọ́dọ̀ wà nílé. Ẹ lè jẹ bread. Ẹ lè jẹ hunger ni. It's true. I mean, if 5 hours and I still have the same juice with me, it shows that the diaspora are right. láti sọ pé ká pín ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà nílé ẹ̀ tó bá jẹ́ pé wọ́n lọ bá kí ó bá lọ kí ọ̀rẹ́ ẹ̀ nísìn tó dé láti London àbí Amẹ́ríkà tó fi ápùjù sórí tébù ó máa mú pálí yẹn tán kó tó dìde àwọn máa lọ máa yàgbẹ́ nílé because ó pọ̀ nínú ilé so báwo mo ṣe fẹ́ máa mú bí ìmúwọ̀ bíà ìyẹn lẹ ṣe máa ń jókòó tẹ́ bá jẹun tẹ́ máa jẹ dòdò jẹ gbogbo ẹ̀ ikùn yẹn wá dàbẹ́ tó lóyún without a good health care ìwọ̀nba nìyẹn máa rọra jẹun ìyẹn máa jẹun díẹ̀díẹ̀ because gbogbo nǹkan ló ní health implication ẹ rò pé à ń ṣeré ni ta sọ fún yín ìwọ tó wà ń lé nísìn òun support Tinubu fúnra rẹ̀ gan gbádùn lẹ́gẹ́lẹ́gẹ́ ni bí ó ṣe ń lọ bí atẹ́gùn ìwọ fúnra rẹ̀ gan tó ń support Tinubu gan òòrùn jẹjẹ o kàn dúró from hand to mouth ọmọ tó ń pè ní from hand to mouth téèyàn kan bá fún ẹ ò lè lọ sẹ́nu I mean this is a great example because ẹ bá juice tí mo gbé síbẹ̀ látàárọ̀ because ó pọ̀ nínú ilé kò ń ṣe wọ̀bìà ìyẹn kì í mú níwọ̀n wọ̀bìà kí tó sáré lọ sí kitchen náà ó pọ̀ nínú ilé ìyẹn ara máa mú díẹ̀díẹ̀ because bá mú náà níwọ̀wọ̀ ẹbí wọ́n lọ ẹbí tí bá ń dààmú tí mò ń dà ẹbí ni máa lọ máa ìròbó ayọ̀ nídìí mi ọmọ tó ń pè ní ìròbó ayọ̀ nídìí mi ìròbó ló máa tí bá mú ju bó ṣe yẹ lọ ìròbó ló máa yọ nídìí olúwẹ̀ olúwàtúláǹdì hospital àbí kó máa lo àgbo kó máa fi suppress ẹ̀ ṣé wàá dábẹ́ so that's what we are telling you máa dín parí lẹ́yìn nísìn máa bo ẹyin máa fi búrẹ́dì máa lọ post office àwọn tó ra flag tá gbọ́dọ̀ lọ post so adé sọ fún yín yes keep on Nigeria àwọn olè fẹ́ tọ́jú Nigeria fún the same òyìnbó kan náà àwọn òyìnbó tó dáa tó yẹ pé wọ́n ti ṣe jàǹbá fún wa ká dúró gẹ́gẹ́ bí orílẹ̀-èdè kálàáfíà wà káwa náà lè nísinmi so that àní máa kẹ́mi sókè security àwà bó bá fẹ́ jẹ́ land border ló fẹ́ gbà wọlé a gbọ́dọ̀ mọ who are you ta ni yẹn ń bọ̀ ló ń lọ kí ló máa ṣe ìwọlé ìwọ̀nú yìí nísìn kọ́ máa bí ẹ pé where are you coming from lọ́ máa kọ́kọ́ béèrè kí ló fẹ́ ṣe how long ló fẹ́ lò ní bíbá àwa wá ṣe border àti àtajá àtẹran àti wèrè àtàsíwín ẹ mọ̀ pé lómi lè kó disease wa ṣèbí kan tó pa woman ẹ̀yẹn jọ sí àìrọ̀ ẹlòmíì wọ́n jẹ́ ọmọ kókó gbé o because kò sí security nílé kò sí security problem upon problem ní Nàìjíríà ṣé ẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ fi pé Tinubu máa solve orí ti gbálẹ̀ Tinubu ò lè solve problem yẹn àti kò lè solve ẹ̀ àwọn ṣẹ́ni kan táwọn kan fẹ́ ni pé they want to be known in the international community president of Nigeria ló ń bọ̀ yìí Tinubu kó máa dẹ́ adé ti pampers díẹ̀ kó máa lọ yàgbẹ́ tó bá ti rí American president àti pampers gbogbo díẹ̀ àbá ti kú olè àti kú ẹgbẹ́jọba fàtìkù tí yín ta nìyẹn àtìkù tẹ bá gbéjọba fàtìkù pẹ̀rẹ́ ó tà wá fáwọn aráàbù nìyẹn báyìí nìyẹn báyìí ní Nàìjíríà ayọ̀rọ̀ pé Peter Obi máa solve problem tó wà nílẹ̀ none of them can solve it ebi ń pẹ̀ ní ẹ má jẹ́ ìtasọ̀lẹ́ni tí tó fọ̀ náà tó bá dalẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ká tún lọ gbìrìgbìrìgbìrì àfi tá a bá ti ní breaking news from the airport on the plane as you're coming to UK that is the point they will ask where to up here kó o bá tẹ̀ gbẹ́ airport wa lọ gba border kọjá ìyá mi Adele kẹrẹ KOIKIMEDIA torí ọlọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni lọ gba border lásán kọjá gbogbo àwọn tó ń bọ̀ láti Europe àwọn tó ráyè connect tó gba Niger tó ti ọlá ẹlòmíì obìnrin mi ọlọ ìdí àti gbóná kó tó dé gbogbo ọ̀nà Europe yẹn because oríṣiríṣi àwọn ẹlòmíì máa ń sacrifice ara wọn ni ọ ẹ ṣáà bá mi sùn kí lè máa lọ Europe ni mò ń lọ Europe mo dá ẹlòmíì máa dé lọ ẹlòmíì ò ní délé kò ní dé halfway á kú sọ́nà but àwọn tó bá ráyè wọlé láti inú omi yẹn kódà láti inú Dover side yẹn immigration dúró dé yìí the only thing kan ni pé wọn nínà yìí tẹwàá ti dé àwọn kò lọ sí camp ó lè wà ẹlòmíì wà ní ẹlòmíì ṣe láti ẹ̀ tó gbúrò ẹ̀gbọ́n yẹn ọ̀rẹ́ yẹn ó wà ní camp ó wà ní Dover camp ẹlòmíì wà bẹ́ẹ̀ 3 years wọ́n ṣe kéèsì ẹ̀ lọ British wọ́n ní time ó dẹ̀ mọ́ tó máa fi ṣe ni pé yẹnjì máa ṣe program lé lórí sórí gbogbo àwọn asylum seeker ó lè ti Britain gbà lọ́wọ́ United Nations ṣe rí United Nations tẹ́yìn pọ́n lé yẹn tẹ́ni ká fún ní gbogbo opportunity kan dá wa lóǹkà tó máa lọ for it's a money venture United Nations is a money venture if you know how many people know that America invests more in the United Nations than any other country in the world. How many people know? Do you know that America ten wo yẹn àwọn ló ń pump owó sínú United Nations? Yẹ kí mi lọ jẹ ìyá mi yẹ mu díẹ̀ nú ẹ̀. Ó dùn yànmùyàn. Ọ̀rẹ́ ibi ló ń pa mí nísìn. Mo ti wo a lot of energy mi láàárọ̀ yìí. So ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ ká padà wá lọ́lẹ̀ tó bá ti sí breaking news tó bá ti jíyàn gbé tó bá ti bọ́ǹbù bùkan àwọn kan ní bí bad news ni because Nigeria ò safe so èmi máa ń dúró kí bad news kó wá ni tó bá yẹ pé nǹkan tó fẹ́ gbọ́ nìyẹn kò safe so tí bad news báyìí tẹ́ máa ń sọ pé mo rí ju bad news lọ bad news lèmi máa ń wá ní bad news yẹn ni mo wá so bó ṣe jẹ́ nìyẹn thank you so much àpadà wá lálẹ́ agbára Ọlọ́run fún late night conversation wa eléyìí náà ti shut down gbogbo fóònù mi ti kú pátápátá eléyìí náà ti kú àti exhausted láàárọ̀ yìí so ó dàbọ̀ bye for now.